Hello. I came on earlier and I made a video about how to make this bracelet. And I did this much of it. And the video, the camera quit. And it didn't save it. So I don't know what I did wrong. So it's lost. But we still do have the other half of the bracelet that I can make. So on this part, what was left to do what was supposed to be done or showed was to take you a stone or your component, wrap it, and have two ends, or whatever piece you come up that has two ends on it. And then you'd cut this is about a 12-inch piece of leather. And this is about a 2-foot piece of wire, 28 gauge. This is what or you can use 26 gauge, and you put them both through this loop right here. Make sure your wire is even, and then the same with your piece of leather. And you bring it to, make sure they're both even. Okay. And then, as we did on this end, we're going to do over here on this end, and that is to take your thicker, bigger jump ring, and then you start it at the end of your wire to put it on. And then when you get down to the leather, you string both pieces of your leather through there. And bring it all the way to the end. Well, don't go past. Try not to go past like I did. Just bring it to the end. Like that. And still making sure your leather is even and your wire is straight. You just don't want any kinks in your wires all. And then take your big hoe bead. You need to have big hoe beads. And you do the same thing. String your wire first. Bring it down. And then string your leather. And hopefully the video don't end on me. It was supposed to have been a tutorial about how to make this bracelet. I lost it. And you bring your both down, making sure not to scratch either one. It'll work out. If you have I think it's a 2.5 millimeter hoe on the bead. Just work it down gently. To about that far. And then put your other jump ring on. through the wire first. Make sure you get both wires through there. And then through the leather. And work them up the side. Make sure you get your wire pulled down. See, I didn't have mine pulled down all the way. Make sure everything's all pulled down. And that your bead is on. That everything's straight. And then I started the other one from underneath to make sure the wire is between the leather, and just pull it down. Okay, and then yeah, I came from underneath and go up and over. You wrap your wire around the leather. And the other one up around the leather. No, it doesn't matter if it comes up over or down under. Either way, it's gonna look about the same. And then you put your pearl on to one of the wires, and you bring it only about halfway down your wire, and you add the other wire coming from the opposite direction. So they should be crisscrossing. Try not to bend your wire all up. They should crisscross through the bead. And then pull it down. Make sure you don't get no kinks in your wire. So I probably started it from underneath on the other one. Pull it down till it looks nice and even. Put your bead where you want it to be. And the same with your piece of leather. Set them where you want them. Mash them in place. Because this is going to be different than using thread. It's not thread, it's wire. So when you place it to where it should be, that's where it's going to be. And then bring your wire up and over. Put it in place to where it looks right. Up and over. And get your next bead ready. And like I was saying on the other one, the measurements, if you wanted a 7-inch bracelet, you take in consideration of your bead, your focal point bead, and from it to the end of the beads is 3.5 inches, and that will make a 7-inch bracelet by the time we do the same over here. In the middle of your focal point bead, and we get done, you will end up with 3 to 3.5 inches, and then will have your 7-inch bracelet. So it'll measure different depending on what size of stone you have. On the video that I lost, I did the wire wrapping and everything on the video. That's my problem. I don't know how to do good videos. So I wish I could do better. You know, you should only bring it down until your wire gets smaller. Halfway, bring your wire, a bead down halfway down your wire. You should do that anyway. Just bring it down halfway. That way you don't get kinks in your wire. And the smoother you keep your wire, the better it's going to go. One side just don't want to cooperate. I think it has to do with the bead. The bead may have a rough hole over on that side or something. But just pull them down till it looks good. And then usually I do this the other direction. And put it in place. And when you got it in place, your wire goes under. And wrap your wire around your leather. And so this is only about 12 inches of leather, and that's about 24 inches of wire for each side. And then come up and over, try to do it evenly. And add another bead. And I'm going to do that for 2 more beads, and I'll be back. Okay, so I got my last bead on. I'm coming up and over and placing the wire where I want it to be. So I got 4 on each side. So I'm going to bring the wire down. Or you could, you know, if you do, it doesn't matter which way you do it. I should have done it the opposite direction because that's the way I did the other side. But I took a break and forgot. And so then you just start wrapping your wire around the end. I overdid this end down here. Things weren't going too good earlier for me, so we're going to do this one, try to make it look kind of like it, even though this is probably how I would have normally done it, just like that. A nice, clean, smooth end stop. So I'm going to go over it one more time so that it does kind of match that down there. Being wire, this is not necessary. Because it's not like thread, you know. It's just that it was not cooperating earlier at all. And then you decide which end, you know, you want your fastener on. So this also straightens out, and it when you shape it around your arm, it will keep the shape. See how this kind of keeps the shape? It's rounded. And so let's measure again from there. From there to there is 6 inches, so that gives you room to add a clasp. And so what you need to do with this is cut it off, leave a little bit of it. So I just left a little. You just want to round the ends a little bit and take them around the ends a little bit like that. Camera's blurry. And you want to stick them inside. And you put them in between, as long as you put it in between this cord and tuck it down in there a little bit. I might have wrapped it too tight. Or you can just cut it off smooth. See how that tucked down in there? Just tuck them down in there the way that it won't come out and, stick here or anything. That one's all tucked in. This end looks better than that end. And if you don't trust it, you can cut it off smooth, and just put a little glue over it and it'll stay. And then you just continue on like you was with doing one of the other bracelets, you just decide which end has the most room. I would say with leather, and it looks they're even. So just stick your button. Stick your button through there and just tie a knot. You want to try to make sure you keep it up. I would say close to the wire as you can. That's where you tuck the wire also, so that will also give that much more protection from it. So I would pick the end that you did the best job on tucking the wire on for making your loop. Like this end, we're going to use it to make your loop to fasten. I think I did that upside down. I did. So don't do it like that. So you should do it like this. Make sure you put your button on directional. On the direction. See the direction of your work. Because it's directional. And then tie it. I am not a good tutorial video maker, obviously. Yep. I'm going to come down to the wire work, not right on it, right to it. Make sure you get it on there good and tight. Well, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I think it's just moving around. Yeah, that's all it is. I'm not doing anything wrong. It's just moving around there. So this is a tutorial about how to brace a bracelet, how to make a bracelet. Not like me. Don't make it like me. Oh gosh. And then a lot of measuring going on. I know how to make them, but I guess I don't know how to teach. Okay, so now this is going to end up being from half of the button to the end of this. So a 6 and about a 3/4 bracelet, and you can tie it however many times. You could probably make this a 7.5 or even an 8-inch bracelet if you want. This is when I really like to cover my ends with jump rings, but I'm not going to for the sake of this video. But tie your ends. But I would suggest if you wanted to make it longer, a longer, bigger size bracelet, to probably cut your leather a little longer, because as you can see, this is probably going to be now, hopefully it will button. I tried to make y'all a video today. I'm not having any luck. I'm not having any good luck, should I say. And so there you go. Pull on it a little bit, stretch things out. What could it hurt except for it fall apart right here on video and embarrass me? Well, I'm not having a very good day at trying to show y'all how to make this. And put it like this. If you know how to make leather bracelets, it's similar. Not identical, but similar. Because working with the wire is a little different. You would think I'm a beginner the way things are going for me today. And I'm not. There we go. Alright. And me, I like my leathers like cut a certain way. At a diagonal. Let me see if I can put it on and I'll show you what it looks like on. Okay. Finished product.